Hello there. Glad to have you join us on this week's edition of Health Options. I am Rabi Abdullah. Breastfeeding is a universal solution that levels the playing field, giving everyone a fair start in life. It improves the health, well-being and survival of women and children around the world. Breast milk is perfectly designed for the child's nutritional and immunological needs. Breastfeeding is a natural and optimal way of feeding children and promote bonding between mother and child, regardless of setting. Health Option is taking a look at that rightly described as the foundation of life, breastfeeding. Are you one of those wondering what had become of Nipricin, that wonder herbal drug developed by the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development for the prophylactic management of patients with sickle cell disease? You will get to know exactly the source of Nipricin, the various processes of its production, and of course, the proactive steps recently taken by the Nigerian government towards making this life-saving anti-sickling herbal remedy available to those needing it within and outside the country. All this about Nipricin only if you join us on our Nature Scanner. This is Health Options, and we go straight to our focus on this segment, breastfeeding. Well, Uche Nwizu set out to examine the culture among Nigerians.
During our days, I was breastfeed for 1 year, 8 months.
I was 2 years old before I stopped sucking my mother's breast. If you look at some children today, they are behaving like cow. You understand? Because they were fed by cow breast. Give your children a natural milk so that the blood, the covenant between you and your children, at the end of the day, you see the differences.
So you that suffer for 2 years, what is the difference between you?
The difference is that as you see me, I can walk from here, FCDA, down to Secretariat. Some people cannot do it. If you give me some farm agric, if I go to farm now, I can farm from here to Use one day. I know the tire.
Because I practice it with my 3 sons, and I saw the result in them. They are quite intelligent. I have 3 boys, and I did the exclusive. Not only did I do exclusive, I continued till they were 3 years of age before I stopped. And I saw the benefits. One, they have a very high IQ.
I have 5 children, and I do the breastfeeding with them. So not all of them that are strong. And when sickness just come, you just light. You not have fed them much like that.
So when you say you have food, because people give children breast, you must chop all the time. So the water will come frequently. You understand me now? Not be say you give children breast now within 5 seconds. Don't kill me. Because now the thing is inside stomach. If a woman not chop belly food now, you know go get stamina because children will chop her like po.
As the father or the husband, you have a lot to do in terms of helping your wife to do some house chores. Not only that, the wife needs to eat properly. And for her to eat properly, that's me as a father, I must provide the food, the different supplement that he needs to get more breast milk in order to feed the child.
You can see the economic situation in the country. Every woman is running along trying to meet up needs, and so the children are dumped in one daycare or the other.
The other time I was hearing that they have expanded their leave to 6 months. I don't know how true it is. They need more time to take care of the babies. And if it is possible, provide a place, a chance for the breastfeeding mothers to have their baby. Maybe coming to work, they come with them. Time of feeding, they go there and feed them and continue their job. It will really help the mothers. It will encourage them.
Interesting responses, I must say. Many thanks, Uche. With me in the studio to discuss breastfeeding is the FCT Nutrition Officer, Clementina Okoro. Glad to have you join us on Health Options, Mrs. Okoro.
Thanks for having me today in your program.
Let's start by you telling us why breastfeeding is referred to as the foundation of life. Breast milk, why is it referred to as the foundation of life?
Breast milk is the foundation of life because it's the first and the best start in life. The child's first start in life is the breast milk. The baby is expected to be put to breast for the breastfeeding to be initiated within the first 30 minutes of a child's birth. The global recommendation says within the first 1 hour of birth. However, in the Nigerian context, where the national recommendation says within the first 30 minutes of the child's life, the child should start breastfeeding. This is because the child, it helps to give the child the immediate benefits, such as what we call the immediate early initiation. The child is put to breast within that first 30 minutes. The child gets the maximum warmth, what we call skin-to-skin contact. That is one. And aside from that, the child starts to get the colostrum. The colostrum is the first yellowish milk that comes out from the mother's breast. Even though the mother may not see it, or it's not very visible, but it's packed with lots of nutrients, lots of antibodies that helps the child, so that the child gets first vaccination just from the breast milk.
So the practice whereby you have some people actually, extracting that and pouring it away, it's not right. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not right. Okay. Last year, we conducted a survey in the FCT here. As strategically located as the FCT is being the nation's capital, it will surprise you to see that about 30% of mothers still discard that first yellowish milk, that's the colostrum, due to ignorance, norms, and these are cultural practices that
what are some of those reasons given to you out there by those mothers?
Some of the reasons, some of the mothers say that it is dirty, it is bad milk, it could kill the child. Some even say they test it, they put an ant inside, or they put a worm inside, and if it dies, that means the breast milk is not good and it can kill a child. So all these are facts. They are not real, and it affects breastfeeding. So the best start in life is for the child to start taking the breast milk as soon as the child is born. And that is what the national recommendation states. The child should commence early initiation, as the child should be put to breast immediately the child is delivered, within the first 30 minutes.
So breast milk rightly falls within the category of the best things in life that are said to be free.
Extremely free. Of course, it's not bought. The breast milk is there with the mother. It's at no cost to the mother, at no cost to the family, at no cost to anyone, and it is readily available. Okay, in the right temperature, in the right consistency, in the right texture. The mother, and then it saves the mother a lot of energy. She doesn't need to get up to go and boil water to prepare the food, so it's readily available in the right form, and it is highly digestible. It is it's packed. Nature has made it that is the best food for the child, for the infant. It contains a lot of water. It contains over 80% of water. It's 8.1% of water. So the child doesn't need water. The child does not need artificial formulas and the rest.
Okay, our objective here is to promote breastfeeding culture. In view of that, can you share some of the benefits of breastfeeding on both mother and child?
Oh, I have just started mentioning some of them. Some of the benefits to the child. To the child, I would have said it ensures food security, because the breastfeeding contains all the nutrients that the child needs to grow well. It helps to, it provides nutrition, and beyond nutrition, like as I mentioned earlier, it provides immunization. It protects the child because it has lots of immunity. That is for the child. It's digestible. Most children that are fed with breast milk have less issues with digesting the food. Then it helps to foster the developmental milestone of the child. The child that is the recommendation is that the child should start breastfeeding as soon as the child is born, and continue on breast milk only for the first 6 months of life. At 6 months, the child is given what we call complementary food. Other foods, other locally sourced foods would be tailored, made, prepared. Diversified foods will be prepared to suit for the child to eat, to nourish the child, while the child is still on breast milk, on breastfeeding for up to 24 months or even beyond. And then when the child is properly fed this way, you see that the child grows well. It helps to improve the child's intellectual ability.
That's IQ.
Yes, the IQ is improved just with following this recommendation. If the child is properly breastfed and the appropriate complementary food is added at 6 months, while the breastfeeding continues, like I have mentioned.
Okay, let's talk about the mothers.
For the mother as well, it's, of course, like I said, it saves the mother lots of energy. It even helps the mother to lose some weight, because when the mother is pregnant, she gains some weight. And part of it is some fat tissues deposit on the breast area, preparing for breastfeeding. So when she's breastfeeding, some of this weight is shed. She sheds some of the weight. It helps to protect some forms of diseases both for the mother and the child. Things like cancer is for both breastfed mothers that breastfeed their babies. The cases are less, and for the child as well. Most of the non-communicable diseases that are seen later in life are also lower in children that are breastfed. And then to add to that, for the mother, also natural is a form of natural family planning for the mother. If the mother really breastfeeds as recommended, that is when the mother breastfeeds optimally, when the baby is leading the feeding, that is feeding the child on demand, not with scheduled time.
Okay, well, with all these benefits you just enumerated, how can some women still shy away from breastfeeding their babies? I'm sure you must have done research.
When we conducted that study last year, we saw so many reasons. It was surprising to see that some others don't even have any particular reason. They'll tell you, they can't just do it. They can't. How can you say that they would not give water? But then, I think that what mothers need to do, thank you for bringing me on this program, because they need to understand, let them know the benefits. When mothers know the real benefit, that the child is going to benefit, the mother is benefiting, and at no cost, the family is also benefiting, the child will not be sick, and then the child will become productive, more productive on the overall, because the child will reach his or her highest potential. So when the mother knows all these benefits, I suppose she should be able to get convinced to breastfeed as recommended. Okay. Some mothers will tell you that their breast will sag, and for aesthetic reasons, and a lot of such. And
breasts eventually sag anyway.
It will eventually sag when the person begins to grow older, because it's just the supporting tissues. The fatty tissues are really what will begin to lose its fat, and the breast will naturally tilt down.
Okay, so what sort of support should women be given, in terms of talking about fathers now, and even government and, every other person to support the breastfeeding mother? Because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, that is why it says, it behoves on everyone. There's the call, it's a social call for everyone to support, to protect, and to promote breastfeeding. The father needs to support the mothers. The father needs to provide food. That was one of the reasons too we saw. Some mothers will tell you, how can you say we should breastfeed? Mostly in this time, this kind of economy, that people and even the husbands are not bringing enough food to the house. So we're calling and begging on the fathers to provide food, for the mothers. But that is not to say the mother should eat excessively, eating for two. Just a little additional food. One additional meal is enough for her to breastfeed as recommended. Yeah, another support, like helping her with some domestic chores, so that she will have enough time and enough energy. Also, then psychological support. She needs a lot of psychological support. Emotionally, when the woman is disturbed, her breast milk will not flow properly, because it is controlled by the hormones. And then, when the hormones when the body is not at its when the woman is not happy, it affects her system.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The hormones like the oxytocin, which helps in letting down. Even the production, the prolactin, which helps in the production of the breast milk, may not be there. But with psychological support, making her happy, encouraging her, praising her, helping her, even as small as helping her to carry the baby sometimes. And everyone, sometimes maybe we're like in the bus or in the train, if you see a breastfeeding mother, you can just stand up and allow her to sit down. She feels good, she feels encouraged. So all this has different forms of support. In the community, we have support groups whereby we train the community members to visit the homes of mothers that have just been newly delivered. Those days, I know that they used to fetch water and go and give such women. These are all different forms of support. And for the government, we're looking at issues of maternity leave, paid maternity leave. For the government, at least the government is trying. The maternity leave has not long ago has been increased from 3 months to 4 months. That's the government. But for the private those that are employed in the private sector, some of them still have issues with not getting the benefits of maternity leave. That's the recommended 4 months of maternity leave. And then also having creches, having a lactation room, even if it's not a full crèche, a lactation room in the workplace whereby the mother can come with her baby, keep the baby in a safe corner where she can from time to time walk across to feed her baby.
Would you say you're doing enough awareness in terms of changing the mindset of women out there who seem not to have enough information on the benefits of breastfeeding?
Oh, well, it's a joint effort. No one can do it all alone.
I have to stop you on this note, Mrs. Okoro.
Thank you very much.
Had enough from you. Thank you for coming on Health Options.
My
pleasure.
Hope
that breastfeeding culture will be stepped up in this part of the world in view of disease burden, especially where our children are concerned. It is no longer news that the black race is mostly affected by the sickle cell disease. The ingenuity of Nigerian scientists, specifically those of the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRID, led to the development of Niprisan, adjudged as the only anti-sickling herbal remedy in the world. Let's go over to our nature scanner for some interesting information on Niprisan.
This is Nigerian sickle cell medicine, and this is the process of production. It's made up of 4 indigenous plants: sorghum, bicolor, eugenia, caryophyllum, pterocarpus, osum, and piper canaensis. Those are the things that we use to make it. As you know already, is a product that has been fully commercialized and licensed to an indigenous pharmaceutical company, May & Baker. This is we grind our product, and this is how it comes and into powder. These plant materials subjected to what we call in-house quality control. You get the powder this way. After that, we do what we call extraction. This is the extraction. This is important to say that this our extractor is locally fabricated by Nigerian engineers. In fact, it's an award-winning exercise here in the institute, and then you see what we call filtration. This is filtration going on, and some of my staff who do the filtration. This is the liquid extract that you get. All of this is important to also say that at every stage you pass through what we call in-process quality control to ensure that it meets the standard which we have already specified for them. Because once at any stage there's any problem, we will discard and then you make room for adjustment. Then we undertake spray drying. This is the spray drying product, and you can see it in spray dried form. It has its own advantages, but it's also expensive. That's what we do, and then after that we do granulation. It's a pharmaceutical technology phenomenon process. This is what comes out after the granulation. And then you see my start there doing what we call encapsulation using semi-automatic encapsulating machine. And this is what you get. This is what you get as a product. This is for children and for adults. You see there are two different colors, one for adults and this for children, and they appear in this one. You can also hold it here, you are seeing. This is for adult and this is for children. And what you find inside is this. This is the way we do our thing. Honestly, where research and development is a priority as a national package, we do not need to get to this level. It is industries that should do this. But because you have to prove your concept to the last point, that is why, as an institute, we have to get to this level. But we are glad that today it's now fully in the hand of an indigenous pharmaceutical company. So it's going to be available everywhere in the country for those that need it now, the sickle cell sufferers. Right now, for the past 3 to 4 years, anyone who is a sickler and needed this drug could come to this institute, come to the compound here, get 1 month, and subsequently get answers. We are talking, we are transferring technology to an indigenous pharmaceutical company, which the Federal Executive Council gave approval about 2 months ago that we should license them to do commercial scale production to ensure that Nigerians have access to this drug. They are currently in this compound. We are showing them what to do and how to do it. In fact, Professor Isaac Adani, the current Minister of Health, has charged the industry, to ensure that they build a pharmaceutical outlet here in the compound. We have what we call a spin-out. A spin-out in intellectual property parlance is a company that belongs to the academic institution where proof of concept is raised, or where you do what we call startup, to ensure that you have pilot scale-up of your product towards commercialization. We have it in our compound here. That's where we do this production, and we are hopeful that within the next 12 months, the indigenous company that we have licensed this product to is going to also build a modern phytomedicine manufacturing company here in the institute, so that across the country, this product will be available everywhere for our people.
Terror news, no doubt, for sickle cell sufferers and their families. And on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Health Options. Just a quick reminder that you can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes, and email us for your comments and contributions at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi Abdullah. We thank you for watching.